Good evening, basement quality banter fans, to episode 25, and good evening to Angus.
Good evening to you, Luke.
And do you have a beverage available?
Do you have a beverage? It's my last beer of last month's subscription. It's 612 Brewing. Call it
Lanky Stout.
Lanky Stout. Really, really good stout. Really lovely. Um, don't might have lactose. It's like really smooth, chocolatey. Almost don't know you're drinking it. Really, really nice beer.
Interesting.
Stuff.
Well,
Top
I
stuff.
I'm having something a little bit different. I'm having the new Larry Jr. It's the Your Mate's MIDI Pale Ale
Yeah.
that's come out. They do have a mid-strength. I think it's a lager, but this is the Larry Junior, and it's got it's got all the flavors that you expect from the Big Brother. It's got a little bit of a fruity note to it for a pale, um, but coming into the warmer months and having a mid-strength with that much flavor, I think will do them very well.
Bit unusual to have just gone with Larry Jr. Run
Considering
out of
everything,
names or
yeah. Well, I guess because it's so closely related to Larry, it could even be the same brew that's it's been diluted a bit more, to be honest, because the flavors are very similar. To get it to
yeah.
that 3.5 in what's not normally a super heavy, I think Larry's, probably the 4.5. So it probably lends itself to being very close to the full strength Larry. But like you said, yeah, usually different names for all the different brews. So mm, there's some relation
I'm
to
maybe
it.
maybe the fact that it's so close to Larry, they didn't want to kind of confuse the branding with a beer that
Is a
people
different
drink and go, oh,
style.
is that Larry? Is that, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, kind of makes sense, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um, in beer news, and anyway, that's really nice. Uh, and your stout, you said your stout's
yeah, it's
nice
really
too.
nice.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
black as sin,
yeah, it's jet black.
jet black, can't see through it, and absorbs all the light around it. Um, yeah, it's really nice, nice and smooth. Um, so really like a smooth stout, so not much roast to talk about or um, any kind of roast bitterness flavors. Like, it's just really smooth, almost maybe like a dark lager or something like low hops, low bitterness.
Well, let's kick on with beer news, and you probably have the news of the day with Brewtide Brewing announcing its closure today.
Yeah, so that was a few hours ago on Instagram. They put a post saying that they've announcing their closure immediately. So obviously a shock to everyone that that responded on Instagram.
Mm.
And I'm not sure of the connection, but someone was quick to point out that Cannon Post Hotel, I think, was shifting to a new venue, so they'll still be open and serving out local beers and food like they have. So there must be some connection between them and Brewtide.
Okay.
So anyway, so apparently Cannon Post Hotel is still open.
It was it was a beautiful venue, lots of wood, like with a bottle shop downstairs. I went there. I think Gavin Croft was actually their first brewer there, but they only brewed there a few times, I think, and then a lot of the time they had a lot of guest taps. I don't think it was as busy as they thought it was going to be. And if I remember, even the vats were sort of there was a lot of wood where the vats were too. It was only a little kit, but it was very pretty, but it's quite hidden away, and the parking was atrocious. I remember that it's in Albion and near the park, around the corner from where the whole Fonzie Abbott was, which is now Hoppers, I think, which is
Yep.
around the corner. Um, so yeah, look, it was very pretty. I just don't think it was in the right spot. So that's sad for all of the Brewtide team.
Yeah, there was mention of those problems on I found something else on Reddit as well, and they were talking about the fact that it was, whilst it was in a fairly affluent area, it was tucked away in an industrial area, and the street it's on wasn't all that nice with kind of real old, rundown factories, buildings, and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's a shame.
yeah. Yeah, I can't remember what the Cannon Post Hotel link is, but yeah, I didn't have that. And you had on the other side though, you had some good news coming out of Beaconsfield.
Yeah, Beaconsfield. I like good news coming out of Beaconsfield. So there's a new brewery opening called Ripple Brewing. So it seems like they're going, the kind of the normal, comfortable choice of beers on opening, and crisp lager, hop forward pale ales, IPAs, and some easy pale ales. So maybe that's something to appeal to the drinkers of Beaconsfield. They did mention there's maybe some experimental beers coming through, so maybe something a little more adventurous for all of our Beaconsfield listeners. That's good news. I like breweries opening up.
Yeah, and hello to all of our Beaconsfield listeners. You'll have a brewery opening up soon, so good for you. I had the Sydney Royal Beer and Cider Awards were just announced, held later in the year compared to other comps, but it's still part of like the Sydney Royal show, sort of, even though that's at Easter. Sunday Road cleaned up with
Yeah.
Champion Beer and New South Wales Champion Beer for their Hefeweizen. So that's really interesting to see a Hef take out the best beer, and the when the Queensland Awards we had a saison take out the best beer. So some of those traditional styles are really starting to make a push. Other champs included Esker Brewing, Coastal Brewing, Reckless Brewing, Shelter, and as well Heaps Normal won the non-alcoholic section with Stout, which is interesting. It's a smaller competition with about 300 entries, which includes cider. And I went through all of the results, and there was some tough scoring, a lot of bronze and non-medals. So um, I don't know if the judges were really tough or the entries were a bit old, being later in the year. I'm not sure, but yeah, interesting anyway. Um,
Yeah, it's kind of strange. It's so far from any other comp. Like we've already burnt through the Queensland Beer Awards. What else is on the Avers was on early in the
Avers.
year.
I think Adelaide's in between the two. Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
Perth is earlier still. So Aber's sort of like, I know the Royal Queensland. The idea is you can brew, learn, get your feedback, get your results before you enter into the Abers. They do that intentionally to have that at that time of year. I know it's been mentioned they've tried to move it a few times, and the council has the judging committee has really fought for that to be one of the first comps to prepare people for the Abers. So and I think Perth and Adelaide sort of look at it the same way. So yeah, it's interesting when the Sydney one is. Yeah, I haven't judged at the Sydney, but I did put my hand up this year, but I wasn't selected. So maybe next year. Um, Starting to get really excited about all the fest beer announcements, and events, of course. So Sea Legs Brewing has their fest beer. Bright Brewing has their Beer Fest beer, which is a great name. Mountain Culture has Die Beer, Deer. So like Die Beer Die, Simpsons reference. It's great. Shapeshifter have the Steinslinger, and Hawks Brewing.
Dane.
Yeah, Steinslinger. And Hawks Brewing are doing a Marzen, which is it's a really nice spin on a fest beer. And then while I was looking for some content today, I found a heap of Oktoberfest events in and around our area in southeast Queensland. So Oktoberfest at the Hills will bring at where Revel is. Will bring Revel, Slipstream, and Ether festival releases the 18th and 19th of October, and Slipstream backs up with the Bermuda Triangle Oktoberfest edition. with themselves, Hiker, Ballistic, and Helios, all providing food, entertainment, and free bus transfers all day on the 11th of October. Um, Munt Toberfest at King River Brewing. It's its ninth annual event, named after head brewer and owner Nathan Munt. 18th of October for that one, with a full complement of their traditional beers and fare. Indie Brewers Day started today and will be running till Sunday for Brisbane Brewing Co.'s two venues. All 26 taps will be independent brewers, including Hudson, Bacchus, Archer, and Happy Valley. So not Oktoberfest related, but an idea of really getting behind indie brewers is a good idea.
That's pretty massive,
26
especially
taps.
when, yeah, especially when, like, Brisbane Brewing's been around for quite a long time and have such a massive following for quite a few of their core beers.
Yeah, Walker is
Um,
still one of my favorites.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, thumbs up to Walker.
yeah,
Pint of Walker, thanks.
yeah, yeah. You can't go wrong with that,
So
can you?
that's pretty massive, converting all 26 taps over to guest breweries.
Yeah. Oh, I think they're not all guests. I think they've still got theirs on as well, but all 26 taps
Ah, okay.
will be independent, which is probably hard to do these days. So good on them. Sacktoberfest at Saccharomyces, Friday the 19th to Sunday the 21st. So this weekend in Brisbane. Um, they're what's really cool is they're pairing up some beers against local versions. So it'll be for Pilsner, it'll be a Weinstefana versus Matic Fest beer. Um, there's also Weinstefana versus 7 Mile Kolsch, 7 Mile, sorry, for a Fest beer. Fru will be doing up against King River. Um, in smoked lager, Schlenkerla up against Hoodfellows. Hefeweiss will be Schneiderweiss versus Holgate, and Dunkel will be Weltenberger versus Holgate. So local versions against German versions. I think that sounds like fun, and you get to vote for each of the pairing, and they all have to, follow the Reinheitsgebot. So that sounds like a really cool couple of events. 12 to 10. It's not like a ticket thing. It's you can pop in and do it. So that
That,
sounds like fun.
that's some big balls going up against Schneiderweiss.
Yeah. Holgate going up against Schneider Weiss. So yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
And Fru was one of the nicest breweries I went to in Cologne. I loved it there. So up against King River, who we mentioned before, who do a really good job of traditional style beers. Um, Also on the 20th of September is Schlenkerla's Smoketoberfest at My Beer Dealer. So they've just brought in six of the finest Rauch beer from the people of Schlenkerla. So there's like a Marzen, a Weizen, a Helles, a Double Bock, a Rot beer, and of course the Schwarz beer. So um, if you like your smoky beers, that sounds like a really cool opportunity to try six of the best. And like the Saccharomyces with Hoodfellows going up against Schlenkerla, that's they're the kings of smoke beers, really. So I don't think I'll get to that one, but that sounds really cool.
That sounds really tempting, that one, because I do really enjoy my smoked beers.
Yeah, and my beer dealer that I'm not sure if it didn't actually say if it was at all of them or one of them, but yeah, really good opportunity. Even if you can't stay for the event, I'm sure they'll have takeaways there of the Schlenkerlas. So yeah, White Lies is also doing an Oktoberfest Saturday the 11th of October. Um, a couple of sessions, and of course music and dress up and um, freshly freshly baked pretzels. Yeah, so that'll be fun. And I had on for those Gold Coast listeners, Toberfest at Burley Brewing is Saturday the 11th of October, and it'll be all Burleys as we were talking to Brennan before. They've done an old beer for a fest beer for Burley Brewing, and that all sounds like a really cool event at the tap house on the Gold Coast. So yeah, lots of stuff happening, lots of events, lots of beer and Schweinhacks to be had. I'm definitely trying to get to the German club to try those six Munich um, fest beers when I get back from Townsville. So that'll be really cool. So yeah,
Was that for the whole month?
yeah,
Or
it's
was that
going.
just the weekend?
No, no, the German club one goes for a month. Yeah,
Yeah. All
it's
right.
four weekends or something. So yeah, yeah, I'm definitely going to try and get into one of those and yeah, try some of those Munich beers because I think that's a great opportunity. The first time ever that the whole all six Munich breweries fest beers have
Yeah,
made it
it's
to
huge.
Australia. Yeah, yeah. Did you have any more beer news? The craft beer
I just had a
trail.
bit of yeah, it's had a bit of an advertising blurb. Yeah, I was reading an article on Visit Brisbane where they named a craft beer trail through the city. It actually sounded like quite a good list of venues.
Mm,
Uh, so Little Miss Sunshine was the first one. I've never been there, don't know anything about it.
yeah,
They brew their own beer on site, and I saw a quick photo flash past of some fermenters.
yep,
Uh,
yeah.
so,
Becky, who's now at Revel, was their first brewer there, and
oh, okay, cool.
they have a square HLT. I think that was one of the really interesting things on that kit. HLT
Square
was square.
HLT.
Yeah, yeah. One of the tanks is square. I think it was I'm pretty sure it was the HLT, but yeah, she had a couple of beers there. But if I could be wrong, but I think Little Miss Sunshine's not open on the weekends. I think it's only during the week.
Ew.
I could be wrong, but maybe that was just when they were getting started. But it's right in the middle of the city somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. The venue looks really nice.
Mm.
Um, and having not been there, I don't know who you can hang shit on while you're sitting there enjoying beers. Maybe me, because I haven't been there.
Yeah.
Um, next one on the list was Pig and Whistle. I'm sure we've all had beers at the Pig and Whistle. It's always great to have a few UK and Irish beers there, and that's a good place to hang shit on tourists.
Yeah.
Misdemeanor, which I can't remember what it used to be called, but that's a like an underground bar off Lowe's Lane, right off the Queen Street Mall.
Mm.
Um, but it's always been a venue that's had pretty good beer choices, and they occasionally have live music there as well. Um, that's a it's a great place to hang out, hang shit on everyone because it's pretty dark and no one will notice.
Yeah.
Next place is the Gresham, which I've only been to a couple of times. It's a pretty swanky place to pretend you're rich for a little bit. It's always had a really good whiskey list, but they're starting to build their good beer list as well.
Mm.
And then a couple of river places. Riverland. That's I've been there before actually with my wife Anna. Really nice place, just right on the river, so you can watch all the city cats cruise past and watch all the fitties run past and hang shit while you're enjoying a beer. And that had a really good beer list when I was there a few months ago as well.
Yeah. Nice.
Embassy, it's a mainstay of Brisbane beer for I could almost say decades now. It's always had a pretty good beer list there. It's closed in, like there's no beer garden or anything, so good for winter. You can stay warm and good if you're trying to escape the Brisbane heat. Uh, and then the last one is Wing House, which I've been to a few times, and that's got an awesome food menu and a pretty good selection of German lagers and Czech lagers and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Nice.
That's a good place to sit and watch the river go by on the boats and hang shit on boat owners.
Hang shit on everyone while you have a beer. Sounds great.
Yeah, yes. That's what I do. I don't know about other people.
Yeah,
The last thing I had was seeing a few articles about the container refund scheme and um, smaller breweries just kind of just feeling it's just an extra tax
mm,
on an already very overtaxed business. So on average, adding $6.12 to every carton and only returns $2.40 to consumers. So, with participation being compulsory, it just seems like another expense on beers going out the door for small breweries.
yeah, and
Cask wine is not included in the CRS.
no,
So I guess there's one benefit to drinking out of goon bags. Don't have to pay the don't have to
yeah.
pay the
Well,
CRS tax.
that's it. South Australia, who had the 5 cent um, scheme for 20 or 30 years, have announced that they're going to include spirits and wine bottles not next year but the year after. Whereas a lot of other states like Queensland and WA have just added it on within a year of starting their CDSs. So it's a really it's a fraught system. You have to register your barcodes in every state, and if you do limited release beers, they're not included, and your packaging and like you said, it costs like the producers pay for the scheme. Um, Not so much the consumers because they get their money back, minus GST, of course. Um, it's really something like it should be a national scheme. It should include, milk bottles. It can flavored milk. It can, but not straight milk. That's silly. We should be recycling those sort of things. Um,
What's the difference?
well, it's an anti-litter scheme in Queensland and WA, and it was designed to reduce litter, not to recycle. Um, and if you drink it quickly, it's considered, can't remember, like a convenience product. So
Yep.
flavored milk is, but straight milk isn't.
Really.
Vegetable juice isn't. All the people have vegetable juice, and then you have all the imports like coconut waters and things like that. But water is, but not coconut water. It's just Um, I really think they should do a better job. And I think the people who should fund it are the ones who are actually on the board, which is Coca-Cola, who actually Visi, Coca-Cola, and a couple of the big brewers. They're the ones who manufacture the cans and the glasses and things like that. I think, I think, I think the expense should be made by those producers, not the brewers, because not every beer. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a good scheme. I don't know what the
I
answer
mean,
is.
it's pretty rare walking around that I'll see empty crafties lying around the joint, but all the time seeing, Great Northerns and Forex and VBs bottles just lying around the joint. So
Yeah,
if you're
well,
wanting to kind of tax tax the rubbish, you'd be looking at the bigger breweries more than rather than the smaller ones.
yeah, well, I've said it a couple of times. Like, yeah, when I was in London, you could tell there wasn't a container deposit scheme because there were containers everywhere, and the homeless who were there would really be able to, get something to eat if they were collecting all of those products. And we all see people early mornings on a Saturday going around on their push bikes with the big bags picking up, um, rubbish, and that's it. It's an anti-litter scheme. You see people going through bins on recycling day, getting stuff out. So there's money to be made for the people who are unfortunate, which is great. It's a little source of income, but at the moment, it seems to be hurting the poor drinks producers the most.
Yeah.
I
All
think
right.
that's all we had for beer, though.
Yep.
Uh, Wallabies, what happened?
Well, first up, I have to eat my words, and I know James Slipper occasionally listens to the potty, so I have to say to him, he had an absolute cracker of a game.
Hi, James.
Um, re really fronted up in the scrum, and he got around the field like nobody's business for a 35-year-old guy. So I'll eat my words on that one. He can stay.
He might have heard you giving a bit of
Maybe.
flack on our podcast. Yeah, yeah, we could have helped,
Yeah,
the Wallabies. Yeah,
I think that's probably exactly what happened. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It was a strange sort of game. The Wallabies penalised themselves out of the game again. Seems to be a common pattern. They just penalise penalise the bejesus out of themselves in the first half, and then I don't know, Joe gives them a revving at half time or something, and they come out and play a really good second half. But unfortunately, this time they um, left it too late, and that last try that was awarded, that was an absolute shocker.
yeah,
That was 3 or 4 meters forward. Yeah. So next thing I've got is the All Blacks in 2 weekends at Eden Park. So having the All Blacks just having lost to the Boca by a record margin, they'll be hurting. So
mm.
there's gonna be the rebound from that. And the Wallabies have not beaten the All Blacks at Eden Park since 1986.
Wow,
So so there's that record that they'll be desperately trying to maintain as well. They've lost a couple of records recently, actually. They've got beaten by the All Boca by the biggest margin ever, and there was another record they lost as well. Um, so they'll be desperate to hang on to that Eden Park record against the Wallabies. And if that's not juicy enough, these two games count for the Bledisloe. So
yep,
if the All Blacks win the first Bledisloe game, they just automatically retain it.
yep.
So it it is going to be a rip snorter, and there's rumors, and I haven't actually read on the AIU site yet, but there's rumors that James O'Connor's going to fly back in for the Bledisloe. So that'll be actually really good. With I think we're suffering a little bit with inexperienced fly halves, so that'll be good to have James in. He's an old head now, and you could just see the whole game change momentum when he came on
Yep.
against the RGs. So yeah, it's going to be a absolute. Well, I hope it's going to be a cracker of a game.
Well, speaking of old heads playing rugby, how did you go last weekend with your was it final games of the season?
Yeah, that was the final festival at North Pines. Yeah, we organized a beer bus, so we jumped in a bus and got driven up there and played some shit rugby.
Yeah, had fun though.
There was some pretty good rugby actually. There was a
Yeah.
couple of international guys who just tear the joint up. It's beautiful to watch,
Yep.
even if they're doing it to you.
Yep.
No, it's a good game. Good rugby, played in the spirit of veterans rugby.
Yep.
We hung around and watched some of the Wallabies game, and then there was beers and drinking songs on the way back home.
Fantastic. No Islander related injuries.
No injuries this time.
Yep.
No, I did the first tackle of the first game. Um, one of the guys, he's a younger fella, and he runs real hard,
Yep.
and I just kind of just turnstiled him, just let him through. I'm like, hey, you can just run through, man. I don't want to blow my shoulder in the first tackle of the first game
Yep.
at at 1:30 in the afternoon. So I just kind of slowed him down a little bit and let him run through. And I knew there were people coming across in cover defense, so I just turnstiled him.
Very cool. Baku this weekend for Formula One. Charles and Oscar are my favourites. Should be really interesting to see. I think there's still a bit of turmoil about the McLaren drivers, especially with last week. So that'll be cool to see. And I don't know if you saw it, but the Broncos and Raiders game last week was amazing. Went to Golden Point after 5 minutes of extra time each way. Unfortunately, the Raiders lost, but I don't know how Reece Walsh gets away with the headbutt. That's a send off and games any time of the year, but he gets a $3,000 fine and he got 10 minutes in the bin. So I think he's a bit protected, but they've lost a couple of players for this next game. Uh, But I'd like to see the Raiders come. Actually, I'd like to see the Raiders take the whole thing out. To be honest, I think they deserve it, and it's been so long since they were at the top. With what Ricky's done with the team there, it'd be really cool to see the Raiders take it out. And yeah, but yeah, interesting times.
He should have got sent off for a shit headbutt.
It was a shit
Pretty,
headbutt
pretty,
too. You
pretty
know,
poor effort. Like,
either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it, really. But
yeah,
yeah, like, it was great watching that game. It was really good. So yeah, I hope the Raiders bounce back. It'll be good. Yeah. Oh well, that's
yeah. I saw
everything
the
I've heard.
highlights of
Yeah.
yeah. I saw the highlights of the last kind of 10 minutes of the game and
Mm.
the golden period,
Yeah.
and yeah, it looked pretty desperate, didn't it?
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
like
a
that.
hard fought game. Um,
Yeah,
I don't think the refs got too much wrong apart from that. He should have got a bigger slap on the hands for that. But um, yeah, yeah, it was good footy, and you know, Canberra sort of let them come back into it. They were ahead by 16 points at one stage, I think. So yeah, but footy finals, Oktoberfest. It's all fun. F1. Uh, School holidays are coming up.
school
Uh,
holidays, rugby.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, lovely.
it'll be a pretty intense month.
Oh well, we'll have lots of stuff to gas bag about. Thank you everyone for listening. If you want anything discussed, talked, sponsored, shit post, anything like that, let us know. And I'll catch you next week, Angus.
All right, next Luke. See you, mate.
Hey, mate. Bye, everyone.